Buckeyes taking on Houston, and it's a matchup of Caleb Wesson against Corey Davis. Both had really good performances in the opening round. Here's Davis, outstanding player for Kelvin Sampson. Hits the three. Houston up by 8 at the break. Early second half, Buckeyes down 6. Keyshawn Woods really came on late, Sean.
Yeah, he certainly did, and provided a little bit of stabilizing influence, most notably from behind the arc, but here was able to shot fake and get to the rim, one of the few times that Ohio State was able to penetrate that defense of the Houston Cougars.
They were outscored 34-12 in the paint, to your point. C.J. Jackson for 3 hit, 18. Chris Holtman fired up, but Houston's so good defensively. Davis, the steal, he finished with 21. Cougars up by 11, and then it's Galen Robinson with the dish to Bryson Gresham. Cougars win at 74-59, knocking out Chris Holtman's crew.
Give Houston credit. I thought they're a tough group and tough-minded group. Give them credit first and foremost for the win. I thought our guys really battled, and we just couldn't get enough stops here tonight. We just couldn't get enough stops. And couldn't get it quite to where we needed to in the second half.
I feel like just this year we really showed a lot of people how much heart we had, and when everybody counted us out and down, that we really came back and really showed people who we really are and how much heart we really have.
You saw the numbers there for Caleb Wesson, 15 points, which seems about right. I mean, not in any way to indicate that he didn't have a good game, but he had an unusual game in that he only attempted one 2-point shot in this entire game, and that kind of indicative of the way this game went as Houston's defense, Sean, took Ohio State out of what they wanted to do.
Certainly going inside and playing through Wesson was not an option that was available for long periods of time for the Buckeyes, and you heard Coach Holtman talk about it. They weren't able to get enough stops. This is a team in Ohio State that usually locks down the opposition, especially in the first half. Houston was able to get a lot of easy shots, reflected in the fact they shot 55% from the floor, and then again, to the point of Caleb Wesson not being able to get anything going inside. You contrast that with what Houston was able to do, 34-12, points in the paint advantage, a lot of those coming off turnovers, and that was an area that put Ohio State in the tournament, was their ability to turn people over and get points off those turnovers, most notably the game in the Big Ten tournament versus Indiana where they were 24-6. Points off turnovers advantage, just not able to do that against a really talented and aggressive Houston defense.
Yeah, this is an Ohio State team that kind of had to hang its hat on its defense down the stretch because the offense just wasn't there, and once again wasn't there in this game. 59 points, 11 of the last 13 games now, 63 or fewer points in regulation for Ohio State. Just hard to get much past the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, frankly, with offensive production like that. So give them a lot of credit in getting to this point. They did win an NCAA tourney game for the second straight year. A very good defensive team that particularly once it got into Big Ten play, slowed down offensively and just couldn't quite figure things out. But outstanding recruiting class coming in next year for Ohio State, best in the Big Ten. So a lot to be enthusiastic about in Columbus.